Hello everyone, I'm Tom64.
I'm MBM.
And I'm Richie.
And welcome to the Hellfirecom's 2021 Halloween playthrough spectacular. It's kind of a low-rent one, we just kind of talk over video games, but that's what you like about HFC anyway. And it's been quite a while since we did Harry Potter with basically the full Hogwarts cast, and we seem to have misplaced our Slytherin. It's fine, it's kind of thematic, given, you know, Salazar Slytherin was the one who fucked off after making the Chamber of Secrets in the first place. Oops, spoilers. But whatever, we still got the Gryffindor Mexi, we have the Ravenclaw Richie, and we have me, who is basically just whatever, so I'm Hufflepuff, I guess. I did a bit of hemming and humming over which version of the game we should cover for the channel, because I grew up, as did Richie, with the GameCube version of the game, which I believe, if I head on over to the thingamabob here, was developed by EA UK. This one, for the PS1, was done by Argonaut Games, who covered the first game, Philosopher's Stone / Sorcerer's Stone. They also did the Croc games, which is pretty cool. But, Mexi, what's your experience with this game? Have you experienced it at all?
My experience with this game is the Croc games, and that's about it. And even those were just experienced through Let's Plays. So I've seen a bit of the footage here, and like you can definitely tell it's the same team as from the first game, like to a T, to a budget with a capital T.
Jesus,
budget.
Kill it with Incendio, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that is a choice.
Harry Potter, a plot to make most terrible things happen.
Yeah, they try and bust Harry out after Uncle Vernon locks him in his room, and Dobby's like, "You cannot go back to Hogwarts," and he's like, "Yeah, fucking try me, mate." But, Richie, this must be crazy for you, because, no experience with the game at all, right?
Dobby was sent as someone's idea of a joke.
No experience with this particular version, no. So literally the only kind of frame of reference I've got is the GameCube version, which I have beaten, by the way. It had sat in my had not finished pile for a very, very, very long time, because I got stuck on, I think it was like the second library stealth section as a kid, and I just put it down because I was just like, I'm not dealing with that shite.
Fair enough.
And there was only I want to say either this year or last year that I actually sat down and finally beat the damn thing. So can kindly say yes, I have done that, but still
They're not Nomura games, so it's okay. Like, you don't have to play all the versions to get all the plots. It's literally it's Chamber of Secrets. It's the same plot, same game.
Oh yeah.
All ends the same. Harry goes home for some reason for another summer, for some reason, before another year of school.
It's funny you mentioned Nomura, because we were recently blessed with the coming of Sora into Smash Bros. And when Sakurai was doing the presentation, he was like, "Yes, I've played all the games. You have to commit to them, though, because they are quite lengthy." In another universe, he was saying that about the Harry Potter series. The Burrow. A very comfy place in the Harry Potter universe. It's kind of a ramshackle den for a load of ginger beings, and it's kind of held up literally by magic. Oh my god, the faces. I had forgotten.
What was up with that, like, Final Fantasy 12, like, scene setting, like, the title and everything of just their house?
This is where they live. On me wand, it's all...
Also, can I just say that these character models look worse than the first PS1 game? If that's at all possible?
I think it's because they're in casual clothes and not swathed in Hogwarts robery.
I have a updated model for those ones, but no, the little balloon heads give me a very, like, Ito horror vibe to them. Just they're barely attached to the shoulders there. They just sort of weave and wobble.
Chickens look good at least. I mean, they look like croissants on legs, but they're trying, God bless them.
Someone earned their paycheck modeling those chickens.
So, basic controls, same as last time. We have the Flipendo, which is a game-exclusive spell, not to be found in the books. And a big difference with this game is there's a lot more mini-games this time around. And it's nothing like the do-or-die minecart stuff, where you could be locked out of getting all the witches and wizards cards. This is more tied to the story, so we gotta go deal with the Weasley ghoul in the attic, which I believe is mentioned and like shown at one point in the books, but I don't think ever appeared in the movies.
It did not, no.
The games like always had this weird thing. The games were super weird because they would always like harp on a detail that was mentioned in the book, and that yet it would translate to like a half-hour segment in the game for some reason.
That's kind of what I liked about the first 3 Harry Potter games, though. Like, they were kind of different genres and styles depending on like which console version you bought. We mentioned this in the previous game, but Harry Potter for the PS1 and Harry Potter for the PC, very different games. And the GBA one, for example, is kind of like a top-down sort of thing, and the Game Boy Color one, which I believe this also got a Game Boy Color game, is like a turn-based RPG, which is great.
Right, Harry, let's get to it.
Love the genre bender there, especially with the Game Boy games. I know those ones are interesting, but this is crazy. This is just a minigame collection. Like, what sort of incredible crisis shenanigans is this?
Well, you still have, you know, exploring Hogwarts and whatnot, but I got the feeling as I was completing the game for the first time, I basically recorded as I played, was that it felt a lot more linear, not so much hand-holdy per se, but everything was a bit more self-explanatory. Maybe it's because I was like acclimatized with Philosopher's Stone PS1, but it just felt, the difficulty felt just right. There's a couple of interesting design choices, but they come kind of late game, so you kind of expect the difficulty to ratchet up a little bit.
From my experience with the GameCube version, the bits that were the most difficult for me, both as a child and as an adult, were the bloody stealth sections. I think just because they're a bit mean, those stealth sections, especially the library ones. But it's much easier to get through it when you're an adult because you don't have to worry so much and you're not kind of having a panic attack about trying to stealth through a section.
I was about to say, I could definitely see the poor child that just could not get past this attic ghoul. Like, it's the first thing in the game. And I couldn't imagine, like, you get all excited to play this whole game and you can't even get past the first, like, horror mini-game standards. Like, that must suck.
Oh, well, at least we're rewarded with Ron Weasley's dumpy polygonal jumper. Look at him go. He can open gates that sound like doors being opened with the best of ease.
In the toolbox, they weren't gonna like change. Fuck no, dude. That's they gotta get this game made. I'm sure they had like whatever time they had to make Philosopher's Stone. I'm sure they had less to make this.
Let's have a look here. This, I believe, came out 2002. I'm not sure when Philosopher's Stone came out, but I can find out while Harry does his flipendo on some innocent barrels.
And it's the same Flipendo. Like, I'm shocked they don't do like a for every fourth, like one that's just a little longer, a little more high pitch.
Put in like a fucking Hadouken input, and he just like shoots it with his hands instead.
This goes Flipendo. Just like long, just make it longer.
So Philosopher's Stone came out November 2001. This came out November 2002. So I guess there was a lot of asset reusage. Obviously, the backgrounds are easy to make. You've seen the character models for themselves. I make fun, but, you know, they're trying to go for realistic characters here on the PlayStation 1, so overall, it's not a bad effort.
They're going for it.
Yeah, they are at least trying, and that's more than can be said for some video games throughout the years.
Look, if Final Fantasy VII can get away with, like, the Lego-y people, like, video games have proven time and time again that it's okay if your human characters look a little ugly. Like, that's fine. You can still make a masterpiece game that, like, stands the test of time. It's okay. Just do your best.
So we've got Ginny Weasley here, Ron's sister, obviously. Big crush on Harry. Kind of first girl wins rule applies here. So, wouldn't be really surprising to tell you that her and Harry get married at the end of the series. I don't think we're going to go up to the Deathly Hallows games. I feel it's fine to tell you that. But yeah, Witches and Wizards cards are back. Collecting them all, strangely, does not grant you a bonus ending. So I was originally not going to get all of them, but my collectathon instincts took over like halfway through recording, so I'll end up getting them, because dueling actually plays a big factor into getting some of these things, which is pretty cool.
Ah.
That's right, you eat the fucking bush, you puffskein.
Bringing these homies back.
That's so cute. He dropped a bean. It tastes like bogies.
Delightful.
You ever had the beans, Maxie? I'm probably asking you this question like for the second time, but you know, the last playthrough was like in 2015, so cut me some slack.
I say it was a while ago, so it's fair. I've had the what was it when they released the gimmicky like every flavored beans? I ate those, but I'm not really a big jelly bean person. Like even when they're normal candy flavor, so like gross flavored jelly beans, it's just like, ooh, allow me to avoid it twice as much.
Yeah.
My fondest memory, or least fond memory of those beans, is getting a horseradish flavour one. That kind of put me off for life.
Oh, nice.
I love a good jelly bean, but yeah, the idea of the what's every flavour beans, I'm just like, nah, you're alright on that one. Just give me some regular jelly beans and I'm perfectly happy.
Oh, it's Ron's dad. I fucking love the Fast Show.
It's the dude who doesn't know how a rubber duck fucking works. I love this character. Like I fucking love it. He's a wizard scientist. Doesn't understand just basic human shit.
Okay, well, first of all, he's not a scientist. He works basically in the don't do that department at the ministry. This is what he does in his spare time. He just breaks boxes on top of rocks while the chickens watch.
And drop them onto the rocks, please. Maybe we can find those gloves.
He's a farmer.
Around here somewhere.
I guess. Like, there's a lot of farmland around here. The Lovegoods live a few hills away, as said in Deathly Hallows, but, yeah, wizards tend to live remotely for obvious reasons.
That's right, Harry. Keep going.
Keep doing it, Harry. This pleases me greatly.
Wingardium Leviosa!
Ah, no Metroid situation here. You get your spells from the first game right off the bat.
Oh, that's good.
That's right, Harry. Keep going.
I don't know if we saw it or not, but Ron says this whole line where he's like, you've been at your uncle's and aunts, so you probably don't remember how to do this one. It's like, oh shit, did y'all just explain away relearning his abilities from the first game like that?
Ah, well.
You guys actually, like, did it. You acknowledged it. Good for you.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Some gloves.
We got the gloves.
Thanks for helping Dad out, Harry.
Maybe you could smash some more boxes, you know, drop one on Fred and George, just for a laugh.
The sooner
I mean,
we
it'd be
can
quite
iron the
funny.
garden, the sooner we can get some sleep. I'm exhausted.
I just look at Ron, it's like, my dude, I've seen the future. It doesn't get better from here. Dark things are ahead of us. Just remember, Fred rhymes with dead. Fred rhymes with dead.
Do you have a preference in the twins, Ron? Just asking, just asking.
Yeah, might be good to, you know, pick the favourite and make sure it's the one that survives.
Yeah, put a huge bet on George, is what we're saying. You're going to be drowning in galleons. You'll never have to work again.
I love that Harry Potter offers us like a harem-style choice of just red-headed boys. He's going to be like, okay, one of them dies though.
Jesus.
This reveals more about you than it does about anything else by choosing the dead one.
Yeah. So, you might recognize this, Richie, because this was part of the tutorial in the GameCube version where you gotta fucking yeet garden gnomes across the thing, and this time around, instead of getting specific cards for hitting certain things, you get extra points. Now, I wasn't to know this at the time, but if you pass 800 points in this minigame, and there's a second one like this at Hogwarts, you get a Witches and Wizards card. Don't worry if you don't attempt it here, because there is actually a function to revisit certain scenes or levels later on.
Oh, that's good. I mean, in the GameCube version, the way that you are able to get the missing Witches and Wizards cards, so the ones that you can get from like the denoming, which I think is a lot more fun there, because you have to catch the gnomes first and then chuck them, is... a shop which I think Fred and George run, actually, that's hidden in the Gryffindor bathrooms.
Wait a minute, that means they had the cards all the time.
Yeah, it's they're a bit cheeky little buggers.
Fuck am I watching? Why is Harry throwing babies? And why did you get more points for throwing a baby at a car?
Well, you know, just how it works. There we go. Minigame completed. It's fucking magic, Mexi.
They didn't want their kids reading Harry Potter. They didn't want them to be exposed to, like, farmyard baby tossing.
No, Timmy, you cannot look at the gnome tossing book again. It is built from Satan's wings.
There are things in those books that probably kids shouldn't be seeing. Anti-Semitic goblins.
Is this how phone booths are just laid out in the English countryside? Just like randomly in people's like meadows?
Oh, of course. This is exactly what happens with our telephone boxes. Although, to be fair, more and more of them are disappearing as we go because people don't use telephone boxes anymore because pretty much everybody has a mobile phone.
Oh, either that or they fucking smash the windows in.
Hello there.
Or that. I mean, that is generally what happens to most of the telephone boxes. They're generally vandalised.
They're just a monument to vandalism.
Yeah. Although there are people who are finding fun and interesting ways of repurposing them.
Mostly.
I think one of the most popular / most useful is that they started putting like defibrillators in them.
Huh.
So obviously, if you somebody's having a heart attack, potentially you might have a easy access defibrillator to save their lives. But obviously, you've got to figure out where the hell those ones are if you need them.
Indeed so. So, a big part of Chamber of Secrets is dueling. There's a dueling scene at Hogwarts, and Fred or George, I forget which, is going to teach us how to do stuff here. Basically, just keep Flipendoing and, you know, shimmy sham, give him the happy feet, and you'll basically win. It's the best 2 out of 3 sort of scenario.
You get closer to disarming him.
And don't forget, fully charged knockback jinxes.
I don't know whether it's going to happen here. I mean, I see the object that would be used more in the GameCube version, but you learn basically how to Flipendo by attacking the washing machine, which is quite fun. It's a possessed washing machine in the GameCube version, which is hilarious.
Keep that in mind.
Oh, so the possessed washing machine might be coming up. Okay, got it.
Why does the Weasley family have a dueling arena just like on their family premises? I thought these were peaceful wizards.
I mean, we're casting Flipendo, not fucking Avada Kedavra.
I mean, again, but I just thought it was very ironic when they asked Fred and George if it was safe. It's like, don't ask them. They only have a 50% survival chance. That's not nearly high enough for my standards of opinions on safety.
Wow, this playthrough has more dead Fred talk than like 75% of Harry Potter playthroughs in their first part.
You said we're not gonna make it to Deathly Hallows. We have to get it all taken care of here and now while we still have him.
It's true.
I love how we're represented by the Gryffindor coat of arms. Fred just gets like a big F. He is just an F.
Well, that's because it's Fred for failure, because he's the one who's going to fail at living.
Ouch.
That's terrific stuff.
Chamber of Secrets is really like the book where like Harry is like, you're a Gryffindor. Like it becomes less like, you know, of a house identity, but like it becomes part of Harry's identity.
Yeah.
But like for the rest of the series, that's not really like, it's not brought into play. It doesn't actually end up mattering that he's a Gryffindor. But like we're in this weird like time capsule of the series storytelling where it's like, no, this is the game where like that's part of his identity is that he's a Gryffindor at Hogwarts, and that's like what helps him take down Slytherin's big dungeon snake.
I wish you didn't describe it as like a Zelda boss. Jesus.
Oh, I nearly forgot.
It's kind of what it is, to be fair, but...
Circle button. That's important. Come on, Let's give it a try.
Alright, special jinxes. They're basically power-ups. Bait the opponent into hitting the red sparkly thing, pick up the blue doodad, and then press the circle to fire. Contrary to what you may have seen there, that was not a Vada Kedavra.
It's a perfect marriage of Call of Duty and Crash Team Racing.
Kind of is. Should be like Diddy Kong Racing, where you get like 3 green balloons and you can cast a Vada Kedavra.
I mean, it would end Fred's failing at living a lot quicker.
It's inevitable. We're just accelerating what is already written in the threads of fate. We're at a conundrum here because if we do end up saving Fred, the only alternative is that George dies. We can't live in timelines where George dies.
Wait, are you saying that one twin has to die?
Has to. Explain to me how not.
Look at that.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of health. If you're writing any sort of series, if you've got twins, one of them's probably going to die before the end of it because it's how you create easy drama. Basically, I'm saying that it's hack writing.
Ooh. Key on that. Hack.
Indeed. Next time, more Chamber of Secrets. Goodbye.